Hello, hello. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? Crypto market is looking pretty good today. It is looking pretty good if you were selling, um, Ari. So yes, I agree. Hey, Mad Maniac, how you doing? So again, we are streaming on TradingView and on YouTube. So if you are on the session, do drop a message. Let me know. If you're regular, you know the drill. Drop a message, say hi. If you're new to the session, welcome to the daily market analysis where I'll be doing the fundamentals, do a quick review of what happened, what's coming up. We have a big news coming up today with the US non-farm payrolls. So we'll do a bit of a review on that or a preview on that. Then we look at the technicals and the possible trade setups. Hey Kumavat, how are you doing? And again, we'll give it 2 minutes before we get started. So in the meantime, as you are typing in saying hi, do help me out. Click that like and subscribe button on YouTube. And if you're on TradingView, click that little rocket ship button and also the follow button as well. Hope you've all been well. If you're new to the session, drop a comment. Let me know where you're joining us from. I love to find out. Hey Nick. Hey Maslone. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Caught a trade on the US yen today, this morning. So doing very well. A big trade on the US yen. Hey, Russell Schaeffler from Japan. Probably the first time I'm having a viewer from Japan. So good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Which part of Japan are you in? What I'll do today is that I think that we might not have too much setups in the lead up to the non-farm payrolls. So we'll do this more targeted, this daily market analysis, more targeted towards the non-farm payroll or setting up for the non-farm payrolls. Saitama, good to see. Haven't been there, but good to see. South Africa. Mongolia. I think you're the Ari. You're probably the first one. Are you from Mongolia? You're probably the first one from Mongolia as well. Should get a map and start checking off where everyone is joining us from, just so that I cover all the different countries. I can target different areas that I haven't covered yet. By the way, have you guys checked out yesterday's daily market analysis? After the session, at about the 1 hour mark, I did do a short educational piece on fundamental analysis, teaching you what to look out for in terms of a watch list or my personal watch list, some ideas on themes, right? Themes of the market, different news items to pay attention to at different periods of the market cycle. And then also we looked at how to plan and how to trade during a news release, right? Just a brief touch on that. I would look forward to a day or a session where we can actually trade live together. I'll share with you, my views as the market or as the news is being released, as the price is moving. We can do that live trading session together. Okay, so do check out the previous or yesterday's session where there is in the later part of the session, there is a segment about teaching you how to do your fundamental analysis. I also did, some people have requested for a scalping, some education on scalping, and also one more on something else. I can't remember now. I'll check back on the chat. So if you do have any requests, or Fibonacci as well, right? So if you have any requests, anything that you would like to learn more about, do put it into the chat. Let me know. I will build up the material, I'll write it up, and then I will teach you, guide you through those different segments or those different indicators, strategies, ideas, things to help you with. Let me know. Okay. Hey, Angel Case, good to have you here. George is from Kenya. More about the NFP news today. If they will be of high impact. They will be of high impact. I'm quite sure it will be, but we just don't know what the number is going to be. So we're going to have to, make a bit of an educated guess or scenario planning. Okay, good to have you here, Nurtilu. So with all that, let's get started. Again, thank you all for attending the session, the daily market analysis. You all know the drill. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free, put it into the chat. Let me know. Something I can elaborate on, I can clarify for you. I'll be happy to do that. If you have any particular currency pair or instrument that you'd like me to look into, I will cover the majors. I will cover gold as well. But if any other different pairs or trades that you are in or are looking to get into, put it into the chat. Let me know. I'll be happy to share my points of view on that as well. Okay. So as usual, click the rocket as well and click that rocket button as well. Good stuff. All right. As usual, before we get started, a quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this webinar or live stream should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Please do engage this point as you learn before you earn, right? Adopt that view that you're going to learn before you earn. Your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Are you a high risk taker? Are you a low risk taker? Don't over leverage. Manage that trading psychology. Consider all those things. What kind of lot size are you going to enter at? Is the current or the stop loss levels that I'm talking about suitable to your own trading strategy? Make sure you consider all that before you do jump into any trades. And remember that the contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. So please do your own due diligence, DYODD, because I can't be responsible for your trades. You have to make sure that it fits with your own trading strategy, your own trading methodology before you jump into the trades, all right? And I can almost guarantee you that I will be looking at many different possible trade setups. If you do jump into all the trade setups, 100% guarantee you will be over leveraged. So, think about prioritizing your trade ideas or your trade setups, which one's going to happen quickly, which ones could happen later. Schedule them, plan them out, just so that you're not entering all the trades at the same time. How can we use VWAP? I will tell you, I have no idea what VWAP is. So help me out with that abbreviation. And if it's an educational piece, then I'll research that. I'll look into it. Then we can get into that later on. Right? Not today, but later on. Gold looking H1 bullish flag. I'll look into that shortly. Could you plot 105.25 on the dollar index and tell me if you see any significance of that level? Sure thing, Russell. What do I think about the Euro Aussie? We'll get to that. Erdini. And hey, Spiros from Greece. I remember Spiros from Greece. Okay, so let's get started. What do we have? Okay, since we spoke yesterday, again, like we said, no big news events. It was most likely going to be continuing to trend in a particular direction. So we actually saw the dollar weaken towards the downside overnight. Nothing much happened. Nothing much else happened all the way till this morning at 10:30 a.m. Right, 10:30 a.m. We had the Bank of Japan with their monetary policy rate and their monetary policy statement. Not a big surprise here, right? We were expecting the rate to stay at that minus 0.1%. We were expecting monetary policies, the statement, to stay the same, but we were getting ready in case there was a potential for a surprise to come from Kuroda-san, given that it was his last press conference as governor of the Bank of Japan. Went through that event, and there was no surprises there either. Okay, but because there were no surprises on the monetary policy statement, on the policy rate, or even during the press conference, most importantly during the statement at 10:30 a.m. this morning, GMT plus 8, what we actually saw on the, let me move this across, on the yen, right? Yesterday, when we were talking about this, we said we could trade down towards the 135.40 level. It came all the way down just before the news, right? So I moved that there. Just before the news, it was at 135 or 136, right? So a good, what's this? 40, 50, almost 50 pip trade to the downside. This was from yesterday all the way to this morning. And then the news came out. The news came out where it was at that 135.96 level. No change, no surprises from the Bank of Japan. And then we saw the yen shoot up within the minute, right? It shot up to that 137, almost 137 level. Since it's gone up, it's sat there, it's retraced, it's sat there. Now it looks like it's trading slightly to the downside, right? So we do have a interim support level here, 61.8 level that's broken. So I don't think it's super valid. Let me take that away. Let me change that around and look at it this way. Okay, apply the levels in there. Right, and we do have it at about that, well, it's hit that 50% level. Let me just clean this up for you guys. Oops. Here we go. It's gone up, hit that 50% retracement level, and then now retracing back down again. Okay, so that's what we've seen on the yen from this morning. What I actually did, I did something very I don't normally suggest to everyone, or I don't suggest to everyone, not even normally, is that I did get in before the news, right? As the news was being released, I caught it. That was coming out about 10:30, so I rushed in, got in before the news. I had my buy at 135.95 level, right? And then I traded up. I had my take profit at 137, didn't hit. As it was retracing, I got off the trade. So that was a good trade to the upside. I did have also a sell, but I had a tight stop loss of about 20 pips to the downside. So I was trying to catch either the upside or the downside move. Fortunately, it shot up, hit about a, let me see, I got in at about 135.95. I got about there. So about a 70 something pip move. I did lose my sell to the downside, hit the stop loss as it shot up. So about a 50 pip move to the upside on the US yen. Right? That was because of the Bank of Japan news this morning. Hey Jamil, how are you doing? Young Milon says, hi, I can really want to know how to apply fundamental news on my trading. I'm a newbie. Hey, check out yesterday's session. We can look at that. Where is he reading the chats? I'm reading the chats here, Erdini. So I'm reading the chats both on YouTube and also on TradingView. So there's a lot of requests coming in. I do see your Euro Aussie requests. So bear with me. We'll get through the sessions and we'll get through the regular pairs, and then we'll get into the request after that. Okay, just as we started this session, we saw the pound with their GDP number was minus 0.5%, expected 0.1%, came out at a 0.3%. And what you actually saw here on the pound dollar, I didn't get into this trade. I didn't think it was going to be a big price mover. At that 3 o'clock session was 1 point, 1.1929, shot up to 1.1951, and then now retracing back down again. So that was a move. This spike towards the upside, possibly attributed to the GDP month-to-month number here for the UK. The focus, I've been saying this through the week, comes to the non-farm payroll or non-farm employment change number to come from the US. It was a 517K, expected 224. Let me know. Put it into the chat, everyone who is watching right now. What do you think the number is going to be? Right? If you don't want to give me a number, right? I know I've done this for many, many years. Most times I ask everyone, what's the number going to be? And everyone's like, oh, well, don't know what the number is going to be. You can put it in higher or lower, higher than expected or lower than expected. Let's see what's the consensus view here from everyone watching the session. Market is very weird nowadays. I'm guessing 380K. Good guess. All right. So everyone else, BL has started the ball rolling already. Put it into the chat. Let me know, what do you think the number is going to be here. Okay, we'll do a scenario planning. Good news, bad news scenario. Unemployment rate looking to stay at that 3.4% for the US, while average hourly earnings also looking to stay at that 0.3%. Also at 9:30 GMT plus 8 tonight, we also have the Canadians with their employment number, unemployment rate looking to go from a 5 to a 5.1%. Employment change looking to drop a little bit more modest at the 8.5K. This is going to be a bit of a mixed scenario here for the Canadian dollar paired up with the US news. It's going to be high volatility situation, especially on the US CAD. Okay, so let's jump as you're putting in your guesses for the NFP. Good morning, M Leader. Good to have you here. Put in your guess for the NFP. You can put in a number, or you can put in to say whether you think it's going to be higher or lower than expected. I want to see your views. Let's look at the dollar index. All right, so we still have our summary sheet here, 10th of March. The dollar, move this away for now. The dollar overnight went from, this was yesterday, went from that 105.70 level, traded down to 105.15, now consolidating along that level. A question from Russell is, can I plot 105.25? So let's do that. 105.25. It's about this level here, where we are right now. Can I see any significance on that level? Not right off the bat, but let's see if we did this. Aligns quite closely to that 38.2 level. However, that has broken already. So might not work on that. And then if we did it the other way around, again, aligns quite closely to that 23.6 level, right? That 23.6 level. So I don't see any major significance on 105.25, that consolidation here that we saw towards the end of Feb. Apart from that, no real consolidation there, Russell. Okay. At this point, though, given that the dollar did drop to that 105.10 level, and seen it bounce, it's most likely going to consolidate within this range for the next couple of hours. It's probably going to be super boring all the way in the lead up to the non-farm payrolls. Likely, I think it's going to do that. It's going to test and bounce around like that. Okay. So no real directional bias yet, but what you can be looking for is if we do see a strong non-farm payroll, as in like what Oh wow, Kumabat is saying 620K. Nick is saying above. We're saying Mad Maniac at 250, shares at lower, 380 from BL. Spiros looking like it's going to go up. Okay, so we have, just reading off those numbers, quite a mixed bag here. So we're planning for both scenarios. If we do see the non-farm payrolls being stronger than expected in terms of more than that 224, right? I would say it needs to be above 280 before we're going to see that significant move. 280 to 300 above those range, then we could see the dollar push towards the upside, right? Break above this 105.35 level, then we're going to see a big push towards the 105.87 or .90 resistance level that we saw on Wednesday last or this week, right? Stronger employment number is possibly going to support the Fed Reserve's view that hey, they could increase rates further without affecting employment numbers too much, right? So employment numbers growing stronger could support the view that we could see the Fed Reserve increase rates further. A weaker, right? Especially if unemployment rate climbs. It's currently at 3.4%. Previously, last month, it was at 3.5 to expecting 3.6. So I'm not ruling out a surprise to the downside on the non-farm payrolls and on the unemployment rate. So if this comes out at 3.5 or 3.6%, then we're going to see massive downside, right? Massive downside on the dollar index breaking below this 105 level, or say even 105 level, could go all the way down to where we were talking about at the start of the week, that 104.40 support level. All right, so here we go. So it's likely to range between this 105.10 and 105.35 price range. Okay, I'm not going to type up the whole view about non-farm payrolls, good news up, bad news down. You can watch the video or rewatch the video for that. Okay. Why didn't the US yen move yesterday after monetary policy news? It did. It not yesterday. It moved today. This morning, just a couple of hours ago, the yen did move quite significantly because of the monetary policy news. Okay, hi sir, NFP today. What will be the move for the Aussie dollar? Let's get to it. Okay, so you can see here. Yesterday we were talking about a possible counter trend on the Kiwi dollar and on the Aussie dollar. Big counter trend move that I was looking to stack up on Kiwi dollar. So Kiwi dollar actually. How do I do this? Let me see what to do on this. Take that away. Okay, take that. Okay, don't know why it doesn't work. Kiwi dollar actually, there we go, shot up, and then after that had a big retrace. Currently trading at that 0.61 level. So I'll take that away for now. All right, and it's ranging, like the same way like the dollar was ranging, or the dollar index is currently ranging. Kiwi dollar also ranging along that 0.61, that round number price level. Support at 0.6085, resistance at 6131, right? 6131 because of these points here. So what I'm looking at, hey Signal Mark, good to have you here. What I'm looking at on the Kiwi dollar is, with the way it rejected that move and traded lower. Oops, what am I doing? My mouse is going all over the place today. All right, we have that big downward push. If we do see a stronger dollar index, if we do see that recovery of strength on the dollar, then I'm possibly thinking that we could see the Kiwi dollar trade up slightly, right? Trade up slightly before pushing back down again, right? Why trade up slightly? Oh man, I'm doing this wrong. Put this back. Do I have it here? Okay. Why I think it's going to trade up slightly is because if you look at the dollar index, it is trading slightly lower now. If tonight we do see this push back up, that's going to fit with the Kiwi dollar. So I'm looking for a move like that. Trade up before pushing down, following the trend to the downside. Trade idea wise, I would only be looking to enter a selling trade if it breaks below that 6085 level. Right? If it breaks below 6085, following on with the trend to the downside, I'll be looking at maybe below 6085, 6079, stop loss at about 20 to 30 pips. We could even say 30 pips. Take profit. Where's the next support level? On a daily time frame now. Next support level would be quite significant. Quite significant. I would say at about just at that 60 level. Okay. So we could see that dollar strength could see a massive move to the downside here on the Kiwi dollar, breaking below 6080, about 30 pip stop loss, almost 90 pip take profit, almost a 1:3 risk reward ratio to the downside. US yield spike down this morning, no impact. There was some impact, but I think the focus is still tuned towards the move on the potential move on the non-farm payrolls. So Kiwi dollar, I'm looking to sell below 0.6080. Stop loss about 30 pips. TP about 90 pips. Almost a 1:3 risk reward ratio to the downside. Okay, that's trend following. Okay. And then with RD Muru, I'm not going to try and pronounce the name, sorry. I don't want to butcher the name. With your question about the Aussie dollar, right? I was looking for this to push significantly to the upside, did not trigger that trade, so let's take that away. That counter trend play is still possible, but not valid for now because there is it has moved down. It's forming a bit of a downward move similar to the Kiwi dollar, right? So I would rather approach this as, okay, Kiwi, if we see that dollar strength come in, we're going to sell the Kiwi down following on the trade. Alternatively, if we see the dollar weakness, as in we see the dollar break 105 and trade down towards 104.40, then we could see this revival of the Aussie dollar to the upside. A lot of space to be covered before it gets to that point first, however. Okay? A lot of space before it gets to that point before we can consider that upward move. I'll be a bit less aggressive now and say that if it does break above this 0.6630 level, especially above that 38.2 pip retracement level, you can be looking for about a 50, almost 60 pip take profit, about a 20 pip stop loss, a 1:3 risk reward ratio to the upside there on the Aussie dollar counter trend move. But what I'll highlight to you all is that be very careful of this 0.6615 level, right? If price does go up, hit this level and turn down, right? Price goes up, hits this level and turns down. What does it form? It forms a bit of a shoulder, a bit of a head, and then a shoulder again. We have a head and shoulder pattern. with a neckline at about this 6579, or we can be even safer as say 6568 level. So if the head and shoulder pattern forms, we could see that downward move breaking below this support to that 6515 level. Okay, you'll notice why I'm prioritizing a sell on the Kiwi more than the Aussie is because if we did sell this down, that would support level about 40 pips away, quite near. Your stop loss would be quite tight to make this a good setup. Right, 20 to 40 will be a good setup, but not a lot of space to the downside compared to the Kiwi. So because of that, I would say good news scenario. All right, a good news scenario. I'll put this in. Good news scenario. We look to sell the Kiwi down in we could look at a counter trend for the Aussie at that 6640 level. Pretty much the same move, 30 pips stop loss. And this would be on a bad news scenario. Okay, so non-farm payrolls situation, I do like to look for both that good news and bad news scenarios. With that, now looking at the yen, right? Big retrace on the yen following that big push that we saw from the news, the Bank of Japan news, traded up, and then now it's broken below or breaking below that 136.50, about 136.50 level, trading to the downside, coming close to where we were looking to sell yesterday. If this move continue, right? And this move, you can see this big downward move is driven because of this big downward move on the dollar index. If this moves continue, then we could see this trade down towards where it first started at 135.90 or 136, with further downside potential towards that 135.36 level if we see the dollar index continuing to trade lower, which is happening right now. Okay, so that downward move on the yen, especially going to compound if we see weaker news from the US. Let me take this away for now, clear up the chart. Okay, just to show you how it moves. It's rejected that 137 level, looking like it's going to trade lower, possibly towards that 135.30 level. I would suggest for now, don't rush into a trade yet. Look to see what's going to happen on the yen, especially with the non-farm payrolls being released later today. Possibly no trade on the yen. I don't think, it's right in the middle there between that resistance level and that support level of 135.30. I would say, it's right in the middle or somewhat in the middle. So don't try to rush into a trade. We could look for a reaction at the support or if it rebounds to that resistance level again, but possibly not something that you want to look at for today. So let's say US yen, no trade. Okay. With that, now what's next? Okay, no questions so far. Pound still continuing to the upside. We were looking for this to trade down, did not happen. Now pushing back up. Not going to get into the pound for now, just because of the way it's pushing back up. It's too late. This is where you say it's too late to get into a trade. What I would be looking for, if this continues, let me just have a measure. If this continues, no, that's not going to happen. I would say that a good interim level would be the start of that move on Tuesday. Okay, I want to see what happens at 1.1980. At 1.1980, If price does go up there in the lead up to the non-farm payrolls, could see a reversal to the downside. I would actually prefer to buy pound up. It's a bit too late now. Hopefully, we see a retrace back down, and then you could buy back up. Okay, so if we see a retrace back down to about that 1.1940 level, you could be looking at a 90 pip move to the upside. You could be looking at about a 30 pip stop loss, continuation of that upward move on the pound. Bear in mind, everything we're talking about now is going to be highly dependent on the non-farm payrolls. So pound dollar. Oops. I see your question on gold, Kumavat. I'll get to that shortly. Buy at after retrace at that 1.1940 level. 1.1940, stop loss about 30, take profit about 90 from memory. Okay, take profit about 90, stop loss about 30. If it doesn't retrace, then you could be looking for a trade at that 1.1980 of a brief move up towards 1.2030, but that would be a highly more risky move to the upside. Okay, I think that it should retrace somewhat. With that, then we look at the euro dollar. Euro dollar, good trade we had yesterday where we're looking at this pushing higher. It did push up, hit that hesitation level or that hurdle that we identified, and then it retraced, right now trying again. If we had to, okay, let me do this again. This is pound dollar in a bad news situation because we're expecting it to push up. Euro dollar, if we had to, we could look for this to push up towards the not support but resistance level of 1.0640. With the way price is moving, and it's 3 coming to 4 p.m. GMT plus 8, I think that there is still enough time if this momentum continues for price to get towards that resistance level before the news, right? Could get there before the news. So I would actually be more interested on the euro dollar, and a safer view is if it breaks above this 1.0640, then I'll be looking for about a 50 pip move to 1.07 and possibly beyond, 20 pip stop loss. Right, 1 is to 2.5, 1 2.6 to the upside there on the euro dollar. Right? Alternatively, it could go up to here and then reverse back down, similar to what happened on Tuesday. Either directions. Actually, euro would be quite a flexible move. So we could be looking for a similar trade, 20 pip, and then a big downward move, 90 pips to the downside. All right, so stay flexible on the euro dollar. So euro dollar, both upside and downside potential. Okay, check the webinar for, scroll through the webinar for the exact levels. Too many things to type up. All right. So that's the euro dollar done and dusted. Okay, so now let's jump to gold. I do have US Swiss franc and US CAD, but let's jump to gold first. Gold went up, right? We saw everything climbing up. That dollar weakness overnight, we saw gold push to the upside, came towards the 1830 level, pretty much consolidating along this range. So what I think could happen for gold, especially as it's broken that or looks to break that resistance level, again, I'll be looking for this upward move. right? I'm zooming out just to have a look, right? We could be looking for an upward move on gold if it breaks above that recent high of 135.1, let's say 136. So beyond 136, we could trade it up towards one. No, what am I talking about? If it breaks above 1836, sorry about that, 1836, it could get to 1847. Stop loss would be about 1828. A 1 is to 1.3 risk reward ratio to the upside on gold. Super safe analysis or super safe setup here. This is possibly something that I'll look at before the news event. All right. Um, I hate doing analysis or early analysis in the lead up to the non-farm payrolls because prices could change drastically. Um, I'm looking at this. Yeah, I would say look for that first move up. If it does climb towards the 1847 resistance level, then we could see a reversal back down on a good news scenario. All right. So I'm looking at this. I'm anticipating that gold could climb to 1847. Stop loss at about 1828. Take profit 1847. Stop loss at about 1828. Okay. Good. Any questions so far? Any other questions so far? If not, I'll jump to the Euro Aussie. First request was the Euro Aussie. So we looked at the Euro dollar. We saw how it was going to move. We look at the Euro Aussie. It's at a very high point. Each daily time frame here. The last time we came to this point was in Feb. So big resistance there at 1.6186, more specifically at 1.6220. All right, so we have a resistance there. Okay, now to the H1 time frame again. I'll clear out this, getting too messy. We have a support, definitely a support here at 1.5954. And then a bit of an interim level here at about 1.6038. The way the euro is pushing to the upside, the euro dollar strength, we should see this push up. But why it's trading down is possibly because of that Aussie dollar strength as well, pushing to the upside, right? So, looking at the euro dollar, it's going to be interesting if that dollar strength continues, right? We're talking about a possible counter trend on the Aussie dollar. Then we'll be looking at this pushing down. Right, we'll be looking at this pushing down. Short-term sell would be below. Will be below this support level at 1.0638. So about 1.0630. Stop loss about 20 something, 30 pips. Take profit about 70 pips. Almost a 1:3 risk reward ratio to the downside there on the Euro Aussie, and looks like it's forming up quite soon. Okay, so Euro Aussie sell below 1.6030, 30 pip stop loss, 70 pip take profit. Let's look at that. Euro Aussie sell 1.06. I hope I answered your question there, Erdini. 1.0630, about 30 to a 70 pip. Okay. 1.0630, stop loss 30, PP 70. So a question from Lee Gold Gains about where can we get the access to the notes. What I do for this sheet here, this summary sheet here, I do post it up after the session. I will post it up after the session. I do know that someone did ask me right after the session, where is it? Right, give me a couple of minutes. Give me a couple of minutes while I'm posting it up, making it look good. It will be on my profile here, where it is here. Okay, levels discussed during the webinar. It'll be 10th of March. This was yesterday's summary sheet. Okay, so again, if you haven't already, there is the link. 1.60, yes, sorry, 1.60. Did I type it right? Oh, yeah. You got me there, M leader. See, someone's paying attention. Good job. Okay, 1.6030. Stop loss 30 pips, take profit 70 pips. All right, so answer the question there on Euro Aussie. Any questions here? Let me see. Bullish flag on gold. We did look at gold, but let's see where's that bullish flag. I guess you're talking, well, it would fit very nicely with the analysis that we have now. Near Tilu, I hope you're talking about this flag here. I'm terrible with chart patterns, so looking for you guys to give me your feedback. So if we're looking at that, then yeah, if it breaks out of that bullish flag, then we could see the upside. It fits with the overall analysis as well. Okay. Hey, JNB, good to have you here. Better late than never. And that's done. Let me see. Did I miss? So I got my bullish flag done. I've done the one for Nick. Remember, guys, help me out. Click that rocket ship button and also the thumbs up button on YouTube and on TradingView. Yeah, I know a lot of you are watching right now, but not enough of you are clicking. Let's get this interactive. I speak, you click. All right. Okay, now Aussie we've done. All right, that's all done on TradingView in the request. Now, oil. Okay, let's look at oil, WTI, and then the US 30. So crude oil, WTI trading lower. Why is it trading lower? Because of that volatility on the dollar. Right, well, this lines worked really well, didn't it? We're thinking that either it was going to go straight down or rebound off this resistance. It went up, hit that level, and shot down. So full marks to me on that analysis. At this point now, slightly rebounding. I would say that possibly going to trade down again, but the view is that we might see this do this. Right, we might see it come up, test 76, and then after that trade back down again. I think that would be a likely scenario. If it holds, if it doesn't, then we're going to see it break up. I'm not super excited on trading the oil, whether it's WTI or Brent, just because there are many different factors that influences oil. First one, big one, is the dollar. You know, the strength and the volatility of the dollar causes big fluctuations on oil. OPEC members with their production level agreements cause that big volatility as well. And also the Russian-Ukrainian conflict still having that impact. You know, the sanctions or the price caps that they're applying to Russian production and exports, having that threat, or the Russians threatening to cut production levels having that big influence. So a lot of things influencing WTI and Brent. So just be extra careful when you're looking at these trades. I do it as an analysis, but I don't actually trade this instrument. Gold, I'll be cautious with the W on the left. Normally it wants to go down to check up the neckline and then go back up. All right, good view there from M leader. I don't see where the W is. It's too many W's. There's WWW everywhere. All right, so M leader, I have actually done a post on gold, or I thought I did a post on gold. All right, but I'll do a post on gold, or you can, once I do the summary sheet, please share with me your charts in the comments, that we can see, what you're referring to in terms of the W on gold. All right. M Leader has been on my webinars for a year or possibly even 2 years back. So he knows the drill. He shares his views and his ideas. Looking forward for everyone else to do the same as well. So the next one, US 30. Why is my US 30 in crypto? It's not there. Okay. So US 30, big, look at that, big drop. Why did it drop that much since Thursday? That's a bit weird. Dollar index dropping. Indices dropping as well. It shouldn't be dropping, it should be going up. Right, this is a combination. This move downwards is possibly a combination and continuation of what happened on Tuesday, as the markets were expecting Feds, or the Fed signaled that they could be increasing rates further. So big offset or move away from the markets as anticipation for further rate increases, and possibly, like BL said, due to the yield on the dollar this morning. SVB bank run, I think that's more on possibly more on the Bitcoin. I'll talk about that. Yeah, Silvergate bank drive woes. Yeah, you got it. You got it there, BL. Right? So Dow Jones, S&P 500 plunge as SVB Financial and Silvergate bank drive woes, drive downside, bank bloodletting. So I really like this function here on TradingView. You get the headlines, you get a immediate idea of what's causing prices to move. So with that was a bit unexpected. Big support here at 31,696. Resistance at about 32,500. That's about 32,500. With the way prices are moving, I would say a continuation to the downside. I hope it does not get to that 30,000 level, because that would be terrible. Right? It would be very bad news for a lot of people. But that could, especially if we see that dollar strength continue to come back into play later tonight, we could see this drop very significantly. But I think it needs to break below that 31,700 level first. Okay. Hope I answered your question there on the US 30 for George. Oh, Spiros asked about the Aussie Kiwi. I really like the Aussie Kiwi that I was looking at earlier today. Right? Remember the correlation between the Aussie and the Kiwi dollar, right? Especially now that we're anticipating possibilities for the Kiwi dollar to trade to the downside if we see that good news on the Kiwi, on the non-farm payrolls, possibly counter trend or setting up for a counter trend on the Aussie. That's possibly going to come into play on the Aussie Kiwi, right? That Aussie dollar gaining strength could push the Aussie Kiwi to the upside, especially now that it's been consolidating within this range. So I was looking at this before, top of the range at about that 1.08, more specifically 1.0811 level. Bottom of the range at about 1.0769, right? 1.0769. So it's been trading within that range. Aussie dollar strength is going to push this to the upside. Kiwi dollar trading down, could see it could see the Aussie Kiwi continue to the upside as well. So I'm looking to see if it's going to break above this 1.08 resistance level. Next big resistance on H1 time frame is at that 1.0890 level. So if it does break out of consolidation, we could see a big move to the upside here on the Aussie Kiwi, about 1.0825, a bit safer there, about 60 pip stop loss, about a 20 pip, 30 pip 20 pip, 30 pip stop loss, 60 pip take profit, a 1:2 risk reward ratio to the upside there on the Aussie Kiwi. All right, so Aussie Kiwi, let's change that one. Okay, what's the price level again? 1.0825. Buy 1.0825. About a 30 stop loss was about 30 pips. TP was about 60 pips, if I'm not wrong. 60 pips. About 60 pips. All right. So that's the view on the Aussie Kiwi. You're most welcome there, Spiros. I hope it aligns with your view as well. Alrighty. Any other one? Did I miss anyone else? Nope. Okay, all good. Fantastic. All right. Then to end it off is that I want to show you Bitcoin here. The big drop, massive drop. We were talking about this the last time round as it was consolidating at that 22,500 level through yesterday or Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday we saw that big drop again because of the 5 reasons why it plunged. There was lawsuits on the entire crypto, several reasons. New York sued crypto exchange KuCoin for breaking the law selling unregistered securities. Biden's proposal includes a 30% tax on electricity used in crypto mining. A recent sell-off in US stocks, that correlation that we saw. And then crypto industry was caught off guard by Silvergate Bank. And finally, higher interest rates expected. Again, that correlation between the dollar and the cryptocurrencies. All right, so I did actually do a post here, the BTC and the dollar index. So quite a lengthy write-up here on the BTC and the dollar index. So do check that out as well. Alrighty. So apart from that, has been very hard. It's been hard to do the analysis on the for today, especially because of the non-farm payrolls to be released later. I haven't done on CAD. I haven't done one on CAD just because I would stay away. I would definitely stay away on the CAD. Too high volatility. Right? Volatility with the 2 news released at the same time, anticipating a big volatile move there. And do remember, if you are trading the non-farm payrolls, please remember, trade well, trade safe. If you haven't already, do click that like and subscribe button on TradingView and on YouTube. And what I'll tell you is that for next week, we're taking a 1 week break on the daily analysis. I'm going to be busy with something else on my schedule throughout the afternoon, so we're taking a 1 week break on that. We'll come back full on the week after. So I'll check back with you guys again the week after. Do stay subscribed just so that you know when the next session is coming up. With that said, take care, trade the NFP well, or don't trade it at all, just sit there and watch what happens. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys at the week after. Take care now. Bye bye.